All right, hey everybody, and welcome to episode 75 of Weight Loss Wednesday. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make one of my favorite easy, quick, and simple recipes called the vegan poke bowl. But first I have an announcement, and as the quintessential saying, I don't know if I use the word right, quintessential, I don't even know what that means. It's a big word, but anyway, as the old saying goes, as a proverbial saying goes, I have some good news and some bad news. Actually, I have some good news, some better news, and some bad news. So what do you want first, Kenny? The bad news? Get that out of the way?
Yeah, let's go bad.
All right, it's not even that bad, because the truth is
Let's just know that she did not break down, and she didn't eat any fat, salt, or oil. She didn't do that. That was not that bad.
No sofas, no sugar, oil, flour, alcohol, or salt. So the possible bad news is this is going to be our last live interaction through Weight Loss Wednesday. It doesn't mean it's our last Weight Loss Wednesday, and it doesn't mean it's our last live interaction, but interaction. What is an interaction? That's like,
whoa.
It's like if you have an intersection of, I can't speak today, interaction. It just means this is going to be the last live episode of Weight Loss Wednesday. And the reason is because the good news, which is now that my new book has come out, anything I could possibly tell you in these episodes are said in the book, probably even more succinctly, clearly, and eloquently. And I would love for you to get the book.
You got eloquently out well.
Thank you. I'd like for you to read the book, and then if you have any further questions, I'd be happy to answer them on future episodes that we are going to do in advance. So
my book's in transit.
Oh, terrific. So you have today's episode and 74 more episodes to have all your questions about weight loss and food addiction answered. I don't think there is one question that you could submit to me that I haven't answered either once or multiple times in the previous 74 episodes, or that I'll answer today.
And the next 75, we might answer one of the questions if someone emails it later.
Absolutely.
But,
right. So what I'd appreciate, though, is for you to read my book and then see if you have any questions, because we get a lot of the same questions, Kenny, like what's wrong with stevia, what's wrong with popcorn, and I'm not trying to be dismissive of it. It's just that it's not that I'm tired of answering these. It's just that if you're in ultimate weight loss, you have the answer. We have a search box. All the answers that you could ask me are there. So I just think this is a great way to go. We're still going to do an episode every week. It's just not going to be live. And what the episodes are going to be about are recipes. Because now that you have the basics in the book, the why about food addiction and the how, the calorie density, you have everything you need to do to be successful on the Ultimate Weight Loss Program and get both the health and the body that you so richly deserve. And each week we'll be doing at least one recipe, sometimes more. There's 117 recipes in this book. About 100 of them are mine, and about 17 of them are submitted by 10 or 11 of my friends or guest chefs who are also my friends. And perhaps they will be on a future episode where it will either be live or taped, where they'll make the recipe that they submitted. But after today, this won't be live. Now, if you want to interact with me live, there's still several ways to do it. The best way is to come to the live Ultimate Weight Loss Conference so we can spend 3 days together on Labor Day. Then the other way you can do it is to join the Ultimate Weight Loss Program, because I'm interacting all day every day with the people in that group. And the third way, if you really want to interact live through Facebook Live, is just to watch my other show called Healthy Living Live, where I interview really interesting people, often doctors, and you can ask questions live. Actually, we did 2 today. We did Dr. Tom Campbell and Dr. Vera Tarbin. One's already on YouTube. So that's another way to interact with me live. The problem with this technology is that even though we can get up to 500 people watching live, we get a lot of complaints about the sound quality and the video. And what you may not understand is that Facebook Live is not something we can control. Some days it works beautifully, some days it doesn't work at all. And we don't shoot this through a camera. It can only be done through an iPhone. And so it's not the phone. I have a brand new iPhone 8. It's the technology. And so when I do the filmed episodes, they will be done in a manner that hopefully you will find the sound and the picture pleasing at all times. And more people watch on YouTube afterwards than are watching live anyway, so that's why our decision was made.
So we have 2 questions so far.
Sure.
One is where they can buy the book, only on Amazon.
Right.
And there's no bookstores unless
Not
Amazon
yet.
opens a bookstore and
Right.
has their book. And the second question is, where's this event in September?
Okay, so I'll answer the second question first. This is the 4th live Ultimate Weight Loss Conference. It's our 3rd working with the True North doctors, and it's the 2nd time in Vegas. It's at the Tuscany Hotel and Suites, which is off the Strip And where the conference is, there's no smoking, there's no gambling, so you could ostensibly go there and never realize that you're in Vegas. It's September 1st, 2nd, 3rd. I'm happy to give you $100 off the price. You can go to my website, eatunprocessed.com, and find out all about it. We have as our keynote speaker, Dr. Neil Barnard of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. And we have our Core 4 team, myself, who is the founder of the Ultimate Weight Loss Program, or the creator, my partner who runs it with me, John Pierre, celebrity fitness and nutritional guru who appears on many of these episodes when he's in Los Angeles, and the people that I learned everything from at True North, Dr. Doug Lyle, Dr. Alan Goldhammer, the co-authors of The Pleasure Trap, which, by the way, is now on audio on Amazon, narrated by yours truly, and I'm hoping to have a launch for that as well, so when it comes out in live stream, that maybe I could even offer you a discount promotion or do a webinar with these doctors. Please be sure you're on my mailing list, especially since we're not going to be meeting live every week, and that is eatunprocessed.com.
eatunprocessed.com.
And if you come to Vegas, you can meet Kenny and Eden and a bunch of other wonderful people. So the book, it came out on Friday, May 11th on Amazon, and I'm very honored that so many of you bought it right away, which really helped me out as an author. It went to number 1 in my category, which is cooking, and it's still staying at number 1. It went to high as number 7 overall on Amazon.
It said bestseller today.
Yeah, I think today it may be 53, but we're still in the top 100, and you have no idea from the bottom of my heart how much that helps me that you're buying it in the first week. And so the better news is that if you continue to buy it this week, up until 11:59 p.m., Pacific time, I guess, or maybe it's Eastern Standard Time, but Saturday night, basically, on Amazon, we're going to give some terrific bonuses, but you have to forward a receipt that's dated before May 19th at 11:59 a.m. The first bonus is you'll get the audio book. Now, I narrate this book, and it will be very soon on Audible. And again, we don't control the prices, guys, on Amazon or Audible. They do. So if you see them changing, it's just like any other product. I was going to buy an Alexa when Sharon McCrae told me it was $84, and I put it in my shopping cart, and the next day it's up to $99. That's how Amazon works, supply and demand, or I don't know how they figure things out, but my book could fluctuate just like Unprocessed fluctuates, depending on how well it's doing. Now, the Audible version, I don't know what it'll sell for. I'm a member of Audible, meaning I do a monthly fee to get not an unlimited number of books, but a certain amount of books. And most of the books that I get on Audible are ranging between $15 and $25. Usually they're $20. But if you buy the book by Saturday night, before midnight, you will get the the audio for free, which we will deliver to you electronically in the form of MP3 audio files.
And how do you do it again? Where do you email your receipt?
You have to email your Amazon receipt to Chef AJ, my name, bonus, Chef AJ plus the word bonus at yahoo.com. Now, the second bonus you'll get is a book that I previously never made available to anyone except for people that I had private students studying in my master pastry classes that I will probably end up selling. I'm guessing it'll be $19.97. I haven't figured out $24.97, but you'll get it for free. And this is my dessert cookbook called A Date with Dessert. It's all beautiful color photos, and these are all the desserts that I made when I was the executive pastry chef for 5 years at Sante Restaurant. They are not only vegan, whole food vegan, no oil, no salt, no refined sugar. Now there is going to be dates and date syrup. And
if you're in Weight Loss Wednesday, you may not want this one.
Right. If you're a food addict, but so many people, Kenny, have asked for recipes for their families and for transitioning. So I did a video last week where I read what all the recipes for here are. If you want to watch that, don't want to say words or show pictures that will trigger you. So you'll get almost $50 worth of bonuses if you purchase this book on Amazon by Saturday night. Somebody has already tried to plagiarize my book. There's a copycat book out by somebody that's not me. It's called The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss Cookbook by another Chef AJ. As far as I know, I'm the only one, at least the only one that does the Ultimate Weight Loss program. So please do not buy that book unless you want that book, but it is not Ultimate Weight Loss. It may be vegan, but definitely has oil and all kinds of other things. So for those of you that have already purchased my book for yourself or your friends, it really means a lot to me, your support, so that I can keep doing what I'm doing, and I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And Kenny, I appreciate you and Eden from the bottom of my heart helping me out for 75 episodes, so thanks. And let's get started with today's episode and today's recipe.
Let's eat.
So this recipe is not in my new book. There are 117 other recipes that are. And by the way, when I do these recipes, I'll do at least one a week. I will try to tell you in advance what it is and the page number so you can follow along. I'm not going to be giving exact measurements because that's what the book is for, but I'll show you technique. And I'm sorry for those of you watching this on YouTube. I just don't have time to be typing all the recipes every week on YouTube. The book is less than $20, and you don't have to buy it, but I think I give away a lot for free. I'm not going to sit there and type every single recipe out by hand when I do this. So,
and if someone can type in Chef AJ bonus at yahoo.com, that would appreciate it for that bonus stuff from the book.
Yep, thank you. So this recipe is a no recipe, meaning you can do it however you want. And so one of the things I try to teach in the Ultimate Weight Loss Program, and now that you have the book, you'll understand in the last chapter, which is called My 10 Commandments to Overcoming Your Weight Loss Obstacles, is that for people that are struggling with their weight or food addiction, one of the things we recommend is eat simply. Dr. McDougall has talked about this, just how he and his wife Mary eat. Yes, she's a fabulous recipe creator, fabulous cook, but she's not doing Thanksgiving dinner every night. They've talked about on many of their webinars how they pretty much eat the same breakfast every day, oatmeal and blueberries, and lunch is maybe leftover soup from the night before, or stew or chili, and then dinner, again, it's very simple the way they eat. And we recommend that for people suffering with food addiction. Now, that doesn't mean it has to be boring or repetitive, because if you think about it, the foods to the left of the red line, which once you get the book, you'll know what LOTRL means and VFB means and SOFAs free means. There's so many varieties. So fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes, if you take just the legume category, there's over 18,000 kinds. So I'm not saying you have to eat the exact same thing with the exact same sauce in the exact same way every day. You can change the bean, the grain, the dressing, the vegetable. The combinations are endless. And I recommend the one bowl method of eating. Now, this is a pretty bowl that Kenny's going to make his in, but I tend to eat from a trough. So if this bowl isn't full, and this I believe is a 12 or 16 cup bowl, I'm going to still be hungry. So I'm going to be.
And what are we making?
So we're making a poke bowl. So a poke bowl, at least for those of you in LA, they're very, very popular, these poke restaurants. And they're fish restaurants. But I first discovered pokies last December, and we were at the Northridge Mall getting our annual family photo taken, Charles Bailey and I, at Picture People, and we had an appointment, but when you go around the holidays, even with an appointment where you're supposed to be in and out in an hour, it was a 5-hour ordeal until they finally called us, and then we got to choose, and then reproduction. So I didn't bring my food with me because I didn't know I was going to be there 5 hours. Mistake number one. I always teach people to bring the food. So we walked around the mall, and most of the food wasn't healthy. It was Cinnabon and things like that. But we found this concept restaurant called Poke, P-O-K-E. And if you Google it, it's the idea of poke is fish. Now we don't eat fish, and we're certainly not doing this with any kind of fish, real or fake. But the idea, I believe, is that there are people that love sushi. And the people that love sushi can eat a lot of sushi. But sushi can be really expensive because each piece is rolled by often a master sushi maker. And, people that eat sushi have told me by the time they're done, they could have spent $50, $60 just getting enough food eating sushi. So the idea is you're getting the sushi flavors, but instead of each individual piece, you're getting it in a bowl. And I believe that poke actually just means thinly sliced, and these condiments, or whatever you want to call it, toppings, are all very thinly sliced, and that does make a difference in the mouthfeel and the enjoyment. Now, the bowl that you get at the restaurant, at least this we got this, my friend Tim was visiting from San Diego, and he loves poke bowls. This was the size of the bowl, which for me, again, I need at least 2 of these to feel full, but I'm pointing this out because it was $6, which, if you're out and about, it's, I guess, a reasonable price, but this whole array that's going to serve me and Kenny and my husband and probably at least another bowl didn't even cost $6. So now what I've done is I've tried to replicate exactly what I saw at the Poke restaurant on Sunday with one addition. I added some smoked dulse, which I love it because I don't eat salt and people worrying about not getting enough iodine. This is just also going to give it the fishy flavor. This is the only thing that was my idea to add on my own. Everything else was something I saw at the restaurant. And if I do this again, which I'm sure I will, I'm going to add one of my favorite things, which is purple cabbage, red cabbage, my very favorite. I just didn't have time to go to the store to get it today.
Is it because it's purple?
I think it's purple, and I love purple carrots, and like you notice, like everything in my world is purple. I love purple. And by the way, for those of you that follow me, that know I do every few months an online Tupperware show with Aunt Cassie or Kurt Kohler, who are related. He was the designer of my book. And by the way, this was not what's the word? Not edited, retouched. I'm very proud to say because I did not. The photo was not retouched. That's actually me, and I'm pretty proud of that. So let's get going with the poke bowl. So I have already made some brown rice in my 3-quart Instant Pot, and I believe I showed you. Not I believe. I know I showed you on one of the other episodes how to do this. I'm sorry, I don't remember which episode. We've been doing Weight Loss Wednesday for over a year and a half, and if I knew it was going to be an ongoing thing, I would have more carefully categorized or cataloged each episode. So I've made my rice. Can you see how delicious this is? I'll get a close up here. Now, I like this because it's not sticking together. And one of the reasons is because Instant Pot rice cooking is just so great for that. I just love that it doesn't stick together. There's nothing worse, well, not that there's nothing worse, but I don't care for grains when they're wet and sticky. That's just me. Like a short grain rice I find often does this. The rice I'm using is organic Texmati because it's my favorite. If you don't want to eat rice because you're worried about arsenic, don't eat rice. There's hundreds of other grains. You could do a poke bowl with millet, which is delicious, teff, quinoa, amaranth, buckwheat, sorghum, wild rice. If you're one of these anti-grain people, then use another starch. Watch episode 107 of Healthy Living with Chef AJ, the television show I did a few years ago, and I show you how to do it with kabocha squash to make a healthy bowl. You can have the base be a sweet potato or a potato. And by the way, if you haven't watched the 13 episodes of Healthy Living with Chef AJ, why not watch them? They're pretty good. All right, so I'm going to actually just make this in the bowl, just because pretending that we were at the restaurant that does that. And again, all these toppings are ones that were at the restaurant. Now, they had other toppings, of course, lots of fish, which I'm excluding. And they had other vegan toppings, by the way. They had tofu, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it is high fat, over 50% of the calories from fat. So if you're trying to lose weight, don't recommend it, but it's healthy. I don't eat it, mainly because I'm allergic to soy. They had avocado as one of the toppings. I don't eat it because it's right at the red line, and those high-fat pleasure trap foods are slippery slopes for me. And they also had edamame as a topping, which I don't eat again because I'm allergic to soy. So you don't have to be limited by what you see here. I'm just replicating the restaurant that I went to. The poke restaurants, most of them offer brown rice and white rice, and some of them have something called green tea rice. So I'm using brown rice because I like it. And we start with our base. And again, it's a how much or how little you want. I need a lot of rice, but I also need a lot of things. I'm not sure what size this measurement is, but I'm going to do about this much rice. Okay, for now. And then we're going to add some kale. Now, my husband does not like raw kale, so if I was going to make this for him, I would blanch this quickly. But the secret in the poke bowl is everything is cut up very small and thinly sliced. So what I did is I took the kale and I pulsed it in the food processor. So this makes it a lot easier to eat. So I'm adding my kale, so I want a lot of kale. Now, when you go to the restaurants, the rice is hot. So when you're putting the raw kale on top of it, it kind of steams it and makes it a little bit cooked. But if you can't do raw kale or don't want to, you don't have to. One of the other options at the poke restaurant was just field greens. That's what Tim got on his, so it's kind of more like a salad. So now, one of the things you'll always see at the poke restaurant is very thinly sliced onion. I don't know if you can see, Kenny, how thin this is.
It's very thin.
Right, so I got a brand new mandolin, which I'm going to show you pretty soon. The best one I've ever used, and we're going to do that in a future episode. We're going to have Aunt Cassie back, and we're going to show it. It's the only one that doesn't cut your fingers and makes these really, really thin things. So I'm putting in red onion. Now, always you're going to see these cucumbers, and I don't know if you can see how paper thin this is.
That's thin. You can't even see it.
This is the most amazing mandolin. So lots of these thinly sliced cucumbers, and this is going to be my dinner tonight, but I'll probably need a lot more. I've got my cucumber there. We've got some carrots. I should probably use a spoon, but I figure since I'm the only one eating this. So carrots are beautiful in color and they add to it. And again, I would love some purple cabbage in here. So we've got the carrots on top. Excellent. And again, these are the traditional poke toppings. Now, cilantro. They always seem to have cilantro. If you don't like it, don't add it. If it tastes like soap to you, just don't use it, or use a different herb like basil or maybe Italian parsley. But herbs are so good for you. They have so many benefits. Even though there's red onion, for some reason they have scallions at the poke restaurant, so I'm putting that there. Oops, got a string in there. And probably one of my very favorite toppings they have, which is fresh mango. And so they give you unlimited toppings at a poke restaurant. But can
you cut that thin too, or no?
You can, but I like it in chunks. So you can, even though you can get unlimited topping at a poke restaurant, I always get double mango. And then if you want something with a little heat, I have a jalapeno here. At the poke restaurants, they generally keep the seeds in. Now, be really careful when you use a jalapeno and it touches your hand. It's best to use gloves, because I cut this up today, and even though I washed my hand, I touched my eye, and boy, it was really painful. So I might add the jalapeno a little bit later.
Can we go back and talk about your mandolin, the brand new one you just got? What kind is it?
You're going to have to wait, guys.
Okay,
I'm going to show it on the air. Now, so this is kind of what the poke bowl would look like. It's beautiful when you go to the restaurant, and they'll put a little top on this, and you can eat it.
Whoa.
However, for me, this is how I eat my stuff. You know, there was somebody posted again. They keep resurrecting this horrible article about how balsamic vinegar is crack. And again, if something is troublesome to you, when in doubt, leave it out. But watch the episode I did about balsamic vinegar, and it's how it's made, with people that really know about it. And there's nothing wrong with balsamic vinegar. They wouldn't serve it at True North if it was. Now, I've even seen it reduced at True North, where the chefs have taken the brand that they use and boil it down till it's really thick and reduced. But if it's a problem for you, don't eat it. But most of us would not have started eating our salads and our vegetables to the degree we did if it wasn't for balsamic vinegars. My favorite brand is Bima and Paz, and my favorite flavor is grapefruit, and this is what I'm going to put on my poke bowl. But the truth is I only end up using, if I had to guess, maybe 2 tablespoons for a huge 2-pound salad. If you pour your dressing, whether it's vinegar or something else, on your salad, then you're going to end up using a lot. And maybe some people like a lot of dressing, but as luck would have it, I was raised with a mom that always lightly dressed the salads. And in my book on Processed, I talk about living with my aunt, who was Swiss French, and we had salad actually after the meal, and they were always lightly dressed. And so it's very hard to mix around in a bowl like this. So what I do is I take my Tupperware bowl, I pour in whatever I'm going to have. And then, now if you want me to measure this, I will, just to see how little I probably actually use. But can you get a good close-up of that, Kenny? So what I do, or let's just see what 2 tablespoons look like. Maybe I only use 1 tablespoon or 1.5 tablespoons. Let's just do 2, because I don't know. I just kind of go like this. And so what I do is I put it in my bowl, and you'll have an opportunity to get one of these in the next time we do. And I shake. And that way I end up using a lot less dressing. It's more delicious. It's more evenly dispersed. Boom, boom, boom.
That's why you always use larger bowls, so it can mix easy.
And then, I'm not going to eat this right now, but I'm going to eat it for dinner. And now I can put it back in my poke bowl if I want it to be pretty. I don't have to eat from this bowl. But now, look at this now. Look how mixed it is. It's so homogeneous. It's going to be even more delicious than the original poke bowl. And I will put this in the fridge, and I'll have this for dinner. And you know what I'll have it on, Kenny? Is probably a bed of arugula. So that's how I do my poke bowl. And I'm going to switch places with Kenny in a minute and let him make his own poke bowl in a real bowl. But first, I want to show you some other possible topping options or sauce options. Now, in a poke restaurant, they're going to have a lot of different sauces. And the idea in poke is that it's supposed to be umami, the depth of flavor. So, excuse me, unfortunately, most of them have oil. in the Asian restaurants. The one that didn't is like a soy ginger, which has salt. So if you're somebody okay using salt, you can use a reduced sodium tamari. We don't use this anymore. We just keep the bottles for instructional purposes. Or what would have even less sodium is the raw coconut aminos. And you could mix that with some rice vinegar, and you could put some ginger in that, and then you'd have a soy ginger dressing. But one already comes for you that's amazing, which is the sesame ginger from Be Ma and Pa's. And this would be my recommendation for a poke bowl. I don't know why I didn't do it. I could have, it's just, I love the grapefruit so much. But this is, Kenny, I might recommend you do this one because it's more authentic and Asian-like. And if you want a little hot sauce, we've got 3 flavors from Be Ma and Pa's: the coconut lime, the garlic cilantro, and the pineapple lime would probably be great on a poke bowl. And again, if you go to the website bemanpaz.com, you get 10% off with code Chef AJ, no spaces. Oh, I forgot to put my adults in here. I'll add this later. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch places with Kenny, and he has never had a poke bowl. Is that correct, Kenny? Oh my gosh,
that's right. No.
So we're going to see what Kenny likes. We're going to see if and Kenny's very honest. He's a Cancer. He's not going to lie.
Yes.
He came here hungry today, which is good. So he's going to make his own poke bowl.
Okay.
And I'm going to be manning the camera. And if I see any questions,
okay.
Sharon says, hi, Kenny. Kenny, you can use your hands. I trust you. I know you washed them.
Well, I'm going to keep it clean.
Keep it clean. So look at that. This is, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, Kenny making a poke bowl.
I like cucumbers a lot. So
and guys, you know there's a share button if you'd like to share this. The website for vinegar is bemanpaz.com. And guys, the other reason we're not doing lives anymore is it takes me not just hours to shoot them and get them on YouTube, but to answer all these questions afterwards. And I think it'll be a lot less for me when it's on YouTube.
Because it's good for you, right?
Yes, very good for you.
That's peppers. I put the peppers aside.
It helps detoxify heavy metals, so we have Kenny making
That's
a poke
what I'm doing.
bowl.
I got these green onions.
And then when Kenny's done making it,
they're growing in my backyard.
Sharon wants to order one for delivery to the East Coast. Sharon, I think your immersion, this would be a great thing to have instead of a recipe.
This is dulse.
This is smoked dulse. It's very good. It gives it a salty and a fishy flavor.
Here's the fish without the fish.
Thanks for sharing, Tammy. It's fishless fish.
And let's get some onions in here.
Yeah, red onions is always good. So it's sort of like a salad bar idea, but it's just so fun.
It's a poke bar idea.
It's a poke bar.
And of course, get the green.
Yeah. The only thing I think is it does need some purple cabbage, and when I do this again, I'll have that. Yum yum yum. Even Bailey likes carrots.
Yes.
Take as much mango as you want. I live next door to a mango store. Or a store that sells mango.
So get some of that.
So you want to try the Be Ma and Pa's?
So let me go find a fork.
And he's just making himself at home.
Sesame ginger, that's what you recommend? Let's try it.
I do. Shake it up first, just because the sesame seeds.
Look at the sesame on the top.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Shake it up first. This is Colleen's favorite flavor from Be Ma and Pa's. It's the most Asian of all her flavors. Teresa says it looks delicious, and it is delicious.
Okay, so I should just put in, this is a teaspoon.
That's a half a tablespoon.
That's half a tablespoon?
Yeah, you can put as much as you want, though, Kenny.
I know. Yeah. I'm just seeing how this goes, because I'm not going to be able to stir this up, because I have a nice, pretty bowl.
If you want my dessert book, you need to forward your Amazon receipt to Chef AJ Bonus.
3. So that's like 1. This is not that much stuff here.
Yeah.
Or 1.5. Since this
no,
is
Tony, I don't use tahini. Tony, you've been watching this show for a long time. When are you going to just buckle down and join Ultimate Weight Loss?
Oh, Tony, you're in trouble, bud.
No,
so let's check this out. Let's mix it up a little. And
it looks so good, doesn't it? Oh my God, yours looks beautiful, Kenny.
Mix it up, make a mess of this.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you call a gynecologist in Jamaica? The Pokemon. Ha ha ha. What do you call a...
pretty good.
Pretty good, huh?
Wow. Yeah.
You like
This is even better than I thought. The sesame ginger is amazing.
I know. The sesame ginger is amazing. Chef Terry will be in Vegas. Yeah, Philip says we need more guys, Tony. Philip's a resident stud of the Ultimate Weight Loss Program.
Hi, Philip. Hi, friends.
Not that Kenny's not
This
a
is
stud.
good stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Well, can you eat and still hold the camera so I can just talk a little bit to the guys? So, you know, it's just really been we're not saying goodbye, guys. We're just saying goodbye in this live format. But it really has been a pleasure, a privilege, and an honor that you guys stuck with me for 75 episodes. But these will be archived for in perpetuity for you to to watch, because I understand the idea that you want the repetition. It's the mother of skill, and you'll still get it, just not in the live format. What I want to say though is, if you don't want to join the Ultimate Weight Loss Program, then join a program, because community, you'll read in the chapter in my book, The 7 C's to Success, is one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, when trying to affect permanent dietary and lifestyle change.
And that's why this is growing so fast.
Right. Most people cannot overcome addictions by themselves. So if my program doesn't resonate with you, join a program. And if you know, like I say, a lot of people said they couldn't do Ultimate Weight Loss because it's too expensive. It's $149 one-time fee. My book is now $13 on Amazon, and most people can afford that. And maybe it will be in your library someday if you do it. There will be a Kindle version, just not right away. So I encourage you that if you've been suffering because of your weight or a lifestyle disease, or struggling because of it, get help. It doesn't have to be from me, but if you're vegan, this is the only vegan food addiction program that I personally know of. So the other thing I want to say, and I said this on one of the interactions I did that wasn't called Weight Loss Wednesday, is one of the biggest mistakes I see people make, and we talked about this today on the interview I just did with Dr. Tarman about relapsing, is that it's a lot easier to stay compliant than it is to continually trying to neuroadapt, crawl out of the pleasure trap, and get compliant, which is why I have a saying, abstinence is bliss. And it's a very hard concept for people to wrap their head around abstinence, but it's the only thing that works for an addiction. Moderation doesn't work in general, but it's certainly never worked for an addiction. And it's like Dr. Goldhammer says, if you could have eaten X, Y, Z and not been fat, sick, or both, you probably would have already. If you could have controlled it, you would have controlled it. You can't. It's not you, so don't do it. But the thing that makes me so sad, and I see this in Ultimate Weight Loss, is almost like people come just to lose weight, because we know that, because they're still smoking cigarettes or vaping marijuana or drinking alcohol, or, you know, they're coming there just to lose weight. They don't seem to care so much about being healthy, and with the goal of going back to these addictive substances. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. 98% of people that have ever lost weight gain it all back within 2 years.
And more.
Right. I believe it's something like 66% within the first year and 22% within the second year. I waited until I kept my 50 pounds off for 2 years before even starting the Ultimate Weight Loss Program. And I waited 6 years before releasing the book, because I know what the recidivism rates are. And I didn't want to fall into the trap that I've seen many of my colleagues and other authors fall into, where they come out with a weight loss program or book and then they gain the weight back. And I'm sure that's very humiliating, and I feel so bad. I didn't want that to happen to me, and I don't want it to happen to you. The problem is what people think of as ways to lose weight are diets, and the Ultimate Weight Loss is not a diet. I eat the same way that Dr. Goldhammer's eaten for 40 years, and he's never had to go on a diet. He's never been overweight or suffer from food addiction. If you, whatever dietary style you choose for yourself in your life, or to lose weight, if you do not continue that after you lost the weight, I can promise you, you will gain it all back, and probably then some. But what you have to understand is that once you lose the weight, you actually have to be stricter. So in other words, let's just say hypothetically, because I'm really bad at math, that you weigh 200 pounds. You need about 2,000 calories a day just for your BMR, to beat your heart and breathe your lungs. You probably get a lot more, because most people aren't just laying in the bed, but you need at least that, which is why you can never get overweight eating vegetables, because at 100 calories a pound, I don't think anybody could eat 20 pounds of vegetables a day, not even Caroline Miller or Sharon McRae. The most I eat is 4, plus my salads. So what happens is, let's say your BMR is 2,000 calories a day, and then you've lost weight, now you weigh 150. Now your BMR is 1,500 calories a day. So now there's this deficit of 500 calories that less that you can eat and maintain your weight. And I'm just assuming you're laying in a bed, you're not doing any exercise, because the truth is, exercise is great. It's not necessary to lose weight. I didn't lose my weight exercising. I had a broken knee. It was years till I could exercise. You can never outrun a bad diet, or as Dr. Furman says, you can't outrun your mouth. And so what happens is, now when you've lost weight, first of all, you require less calories, number one. The thing is you actually have to tighten the screws instead of loosening them. And so what happens is, people go on all kinds of diets, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, The Zone, weighing and measuring programs, and they do really well for while they're on the program. But then after they reach their goal weight, then they start reintroducing things like alcohol, flour, sugar, whatever. For some people, salt can be a big trigger. And then is it any surprise that then they want more, crave more, are triggered to eat more food, more of the same food, and they end up back in the same place they started. And often, like you say, Kenny, probably even worse. Somebody sent me a question today in Ultimate Weight Loss, said that they saw a recipe for, I don't know if it was I'm assuming it was a dessert because it had cocoa powder and dates, but they said, but it's made with beans and you want us to eat beans. Look, if for somebody that's not overweight, for somebody that's not a food addict, there's nothing wrong with eating dates. We could argue that cocoa powder is not healthy, and there are some doctors that could argue that better than me. But the thing is, these are pleasure trap foods, and even if you're putting them on beans or putting them on kale, this can be a gateway, as Dr. Tarman says, to start using more and more. So the reality of the situation is if you could have been at a weight you were happy with and not suffering from food addiction, eating the foods that made you fat and sick, however old you are, you probably would have done it already. So at some point, you have to do what Dr. Goldhammer says, grow up, suck it up, and understand that if you want a certain result, you have to follow a certain course of action, which generally doesn't include any of the pleasure trap foods if you are a food addict that made you fat and sick in the first place. If you don't do in maintenance and do it even more diligently what you did in weight loss, you will gain the weight back. And this includes even healthy foods. When I interviewed Dr. Thomas Campbell today, we talked about nuts because he was asked a question at a conference I attended about, well, all these doctors say if we don't have nuts, we'll drop dead. And he said, look, nuts are healthy, but he says they become a behavioral problem because many people, especially food addicts and people that are overweight, can't moderate the use of them. He called these loophole foods. I cannot talk today. Loophole foods. And so I've seen this with so many people in my program. They get to goal weight. They look fantastic. They feel fantastic. They have a calm, stable brain. And then they start letting in the Lara bars, and nothing unhealthy about dried fruit and nuts, nothing unhealthy about them, but they're calorically dense. They're right of the red line foods. So just beware. And I don't know what more I can really say that I haven't said in the last 74 episodes or that I haven't said in my book, which I hope you'll read. I hope you'll enjoy. And the audio I think you'll really enjoy because you can get through it very quickly.
The big question we have is, how do we join the Ultimate Weight Loss?
Oh, sure. Well, I can put a link later, but you go to my website, eatunprocessed.com, you click on the Ultimate Weight Loss link, and there's some videos you can watch, and then you just sign up, and within 24 hours, my husband emails you the program, which is downloads of audio and video content, and depending on where you live, certain countries we can't mail to the little magnet and the bracelet, but most countries we can, and you get supported by a tribe of like-minded people, and that's where the magic happens. So I don't know really what more I can say that I haven't said at least 75 times before.
Again, that's eatunprocessed.com.
So thank you guys so much for watching my show, and I hope you'll continue to watch. And again, read the book, and then if you really have more questions, I will address them on a future episode of Weight Loss Wednesday. Next week, we start with a previously recorded episode, and I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to make if you want to follow along. It doesn't have to be at 3 o'clock because I'll just make sure that the minute I wake up on Wednesday, or maybe when I go to bed on Tuesday night, I will put the episode on Facebook here and on YouTube. We'll be making 2 of my favorite recipes from the book on page 201 and 241, the easy wild rice and the cauliflower bisque. So in the meantime...
And I hear the week after, it's going to be...
Oh yeah, barefoot dressing. That's the one that everybody wants. So in the meantime, enjoy your poke bowls, eat simply, eat to the left of the red line, and you will have both the health and the body you so richly deserve. Thank you guys so much. I love you. I appreciate you so much. And I think I want to change my closing line to, I'm Chef AJ, and I make abstinence taste delicious. Bye, everybody.
Awesome.